Jarvis from Iron Man, that you have like a communication, a different user interface, engineer interface to communicate with your tool set. The engineer still needs to be an engineer to answer this first. Like you need to know your math, your homework, like you're getting from the material side, from the physics, from the mathematical. You need to know this at least before you create like awesome stuff digital. If we want to compete, compare, and we want to work sustainable, efficiently on our product development processes, we need to open up for different solutions, different mindsets, that it's not like the silo of designers, the silo of FE experts, the silo of material experts. People need to work together. Engineers, experts who are able with the tool chain and process chain to do maybe just 1 or 2 simulations. And they have like more intentions, more ideas in their mind, but they are not able to do it because of limited time and resources. And now they get back into this getting curious. I'm an engineer. I want to develop. I want to find new things. I want to try and error, not even like, I want to understand, okay, what is possible? What are the limits of our product? How far can I go? What can I achieve? And
so today we have a very special guest. Markus is on the show today talking about transforming engineering workflows. Markus, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Many thanks for the invitation, for the chance here to share some of my experience from the past.
Yeah, I think you have a ton of experience. So today we'll talk about, as I already said, transforming engineering workflows, kind of from a prospect or customer success perspective, or customer perspective, I would say. Before we jump straight into it, can you give the audience a little bit of a background? Like, who is Markus and what is your background?
Yes, I'm Markus Hollermann. I'm 40 years old, trained technical draftsman, and the second life or the real life started with my biomedical study. So that's where I started to learn how to learn from nature, creating ideas, but also like designs, concepts pretty early. I had the chance to work with Airbus, with Volkswagen in the early years here, grow up with a rapid metal additive manufacturing phase trend, and also like felt the pains and the no-goes there. So, and since 3 years, I'm in the team of Synera. I know very well what the purpose is, the pain reliever we have created. And so I'm pretty happy to work with my network from the automotive aerospace to the small KMUs on the specific engineering topics.
Exciting. So as I already alluded to, we talk about like kind of transforming the engineering workflows, which kind of assumes that you already have a tool in place, which begs the question, should you buy a tool or should you kind of build it in-house? I think this is a big topic that we maybe should discuss. What, from your perspective, Markus, speaks for buying a tool externally versus building it in-house?
So there are also like 2 levels, I would just say. Like we need to set those clear as a clarification momentum for our customers. The first one is, if they don't know Synera, we ask them like, do you have already an existing solution, something like this? You can create your own with programmers, with scripts, and work on your own tool set or gap fillers in between CAD and FE. If they don't have it like this or develop something like this, so such kind of structures or experience, Synera is really the good starting point as a platform. Then we enter the second phase, and therefore there's the next question. Now we have Synera, and the question is, do I have the capabilities and then experience in my company to create workflows? Or do I need external sources like our engineering partner network who works on these workflows, and I can just adopt those workflows and bring them in the process? What we learned in the past is like pretty easy because the processes are already there. The tools are already there. And also like the people driving the tools to the process are there. So there's no magic or black box. It's just the time we need and the effort to clarify the intersections between the different tools and the different departments. And this is like the make or buy decision. You have the tools, you have the process, you have the knowledge, and now we just need to start to bring this in the right line and define the input and output to the next step.
I see, that makes sense. Would you then maybe call Synera kind of an orchestrator of like sitting in between?
I would call it more like the enabler. Of course, orchestrator, like this is what top or mid-level management still or already do. But here it's like, it's visible. It's visible for everyone. It's to understand from everyone how the process runs through the whole development, product development process. And it's not only orchestrating, it's also like aligning, because people have different perspective of processes. They think it's this way, but the other person tells them, hey, no, it's that way. How we decide what part is good, or what concept is good. So it's of course orchestrating tools, but more like creating control, visibility, structure on an engineering level.
Yeah. When we talk about structure, I think we also have to talk about the topic of knowledge capturing, I think, which we also discussed briefly before the podcast. I think there's a bit of a pushback from engineers saying my knowledge is going to be captured, so I'm going to be redundant most likely in the next couple of years. What is your counter argument to that?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. And as a technical draftsman, so I've learned the hard way. Like the last time was pen and paper, like how to draw really things. And my last big assessment was like really with paper on pen and with a razor blade, like to erase everything. And now we are in the CAD world, so people have already done this move from one technology to the next one. What we now have, or what we now get as a feedback once in a while is, of course, yeah, Synera could automate things I need it for, but on the other hand, in the second step, they understand, okay, 60% of my daily time is already recurrent tasks and waste. And they see within the first one or two examples, we discuss what they do on the daily job. Okay, this is like a pain reliever. This is like, it gives me more freedom to do more in an effective manner, which is important for product development for our company. Like the 60-70% I mentioned, those are like recurrent bullshit tasks. Like people need more information, something is not really well defined, and again, or the customer changes the M4 to M5 again, and the whole design and FE process starts again. So this is what they, after few examples and exchange, directly understand and see the benefit for themselves as well, because they can use the time in a right manner.
Absolutely. And I think we should also maybe get rid of the misconception that some people think, well, I get rid of maybe or can free up 60 to 70% of my time. But then your manager would probably come around the corner and say, well, here are more tasks for you. I think it's more like getting rid of the mundane tasks, the more tedious tasks, and focus on what actually matters as an engineer working on the more creative tasks, which require like the engineering, I would say, ingenuity, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the whole point in the end, that they understand what is important. And nowadays we have maybe like customers, we have engineers, experts who are able with the tool chain and process chain to do maybe just one or two simulations, and they have like more intentions, more ideas in their mind, but they are not able to do it because of limited time and resources. And now they get back into this getting curious. I'm an engineer, I want to develop, I want to find new things, I want to try and error, not even like, I want to understand, okay, what is possible, what are the limits of our product, how far can I go, what can I achieve. And this is the tools that we bring on the table of the engineer, that he gets back to this invention engineer style. Every engineer loves like to create better products, and here we are.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked maybe about more of the clarification stage, and when we go to the abstraction stage, where we have, like you talked about the ideas, right? Engineers want to have ideas; they have a lot of ideas. Bringing that into practice, maybe mapping an idea, a workflow they have in mind to with Synera, and bring it into existence. Like, how does that work? Because most of the time, when they see something, let's say on LinkedIn or whatever we have on the website, they might think, well, that problem that I have specifically that I'm working on is not mapping one to one to what I'm struggling with. So how can you bridge the gap between I have a problem versus Synera can solve this for me, but I need to adapt it for my own specific purposes?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
also
this
that it
is
requires a mental change, I guess.
It is, and this is the main, not task, not challenge. It's like really what we see as a main driver of Synera. It's not the tool and the software itself. It's like really the mindset which needs to change. Like that, I'm not only following my process on my desk. I need to think about the next desk or my desk before, like colleagues, departments. I need to think about the information which runs through the company, through the product development process in a holistic way. And so there we start. And with several examples we have from our customers coming from Airbus, Volkswagen, BMW, like we need to adopt this, of course, the abstraction model, like how can you use this example in your situation, in your process, development process. And therefore we created like a tremendous amount of templates already in Synera, where you can directly just change some nodes, inputs, and for the first, not the perfect solution, but for the first attempt, you have an idea, okay, how this could look like. And then we will have a workshop, and then we will have like more interaction, more analysis, actions on your processes, and we will find a lot of small things we can already bring as an abstraction point into Synera from your world.
Yeah. You talked about a few companies now. What for them was the most important thing? Was it really the numbers at the end of the day? So what is my return on invest? Or were they more thinking about the engineer? So how can I enable or enhance my engineering capabilities, so to speak? But what is the important thing for people out there?
Yeah, and also like it's like growing up with Synera is like, of course, you start with the tool chain. Okay, do I have my tools that I need? If now we have it, I would just say we fulfill the dream of every engineer more or less. The second step is then that they need to understand, okay, how can I be faster? The return of invest. How much time do I need for this process, and how much time can I save with Synera? This is an easy math everyone starts to think about at the early beginning. I would say after 3 to 6 months, we have another situation. They understand what we do. They see the horizon of possibilities. Like, okay, now I have my workflow. I understood what this is, and wow, this could work with everyone in my company, in my closer department for this product development process. Then they are really getting into this mind. Okay, what are the most important processes? What are the most important people, and how much time do they have in this process? And then we get to the core. It's not only IP, it's really to make the life easy for engineers, but also secure like crucial information, crucial process knowledge in the product development process. So this is then the biggest leverage, because this is like also for the top management, also for HR, pretty important. We see the demographical change. We see huge fluctuations in different like branches like automobility, aerospace, but also in engineering partners. And here is a good solution to share knowledge, to capture it, to share it easy.
Yeah. Do you feel there's a bit of pushback, especially from the industry, when you hand over or want to outsource critical tasks, maybe that also involve IP? Do you feel there's a bit of pushback, and how do you gain the trust of a prospect/customer to actually work with Synera, for example, at the end of the day?
And here we are also like in a transaction about like the best cost countries, how it's called, where we already like we have the situation that companies bring out some tasks, some processes to such specific low cost services, and we have already like IP sharing here and the IP issue here, and our benefit is like that we have a solution of keep it in your company, like the really crucial IP stays there, and you can define who's able to change it, to see it, and to also like work with this. Like even with the Nera Run, the newest concept we have created now, it's pretty easy to take care of your IP, but everyone is allowed to bring their input inside, it gets operated, and he can see the specific outcome. So it's a big topic, and also like we have a solution, and we see it as a benefit for many companies here.
Yeah, I think that would also bring us to maybe the IT department, especially when I think about AI companies. Sometimes the IT department is not wanted when it comes to security concerns, IP concerns, etc. But IT can actually be a big or a great advocate when it comes to process validation. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yes, this is in my role as a business development, also in the kind of sales. Like I have a lot of contact with IT admins, with people who are aware about the growing zoo in companies, and they don't like to have new software. In short, in the nutshell, it depends also. Our benefit here is like we offer them a solution from one side, that we as a platform make sure that the information and the tools they already have in the company are really well used, and there are no double structures, and the information is really handled on a quite secure manner, without any, I don't know, storages and I don't know, hardware drives and links, whatever, shared in a tremendous amount. So this is one side. The second one, what I've learned from IT, is like we are as an open software platform. They see the big benefit that they are ready for the future. They are not entering a path where there is a dead end visible, because as an open platform, they are invited with our software development kit, with our partners, with our marketplace, to also form their shape of Synera. They are Synera ecosystem. So it's a playground for them as well. And the third thing is something pretty new discovered, like in deep dive analysis and an interaction with IT is like, imagine there is a tool they have in their tool chain and they get an update. And with Synera, it would be easy, like to just copy and paste one specific process, bring this newer version of this new tool inside this process chain, and later on just check, okay, what kind of changes do we have in our results for the design, for the FE, for the costing. So also like a third benefit, more or less, for the IT department to handle critical processes, data, and secure their knowledge and product development process.
That makes a lot of sense. I think you have a lot of experience when it comes to how do we actually get to a mindset shift. Because for us, it's very easy to sit in the podcast and say, well, you only have to have a mindset shift and there's a lot of transformation going on. Like, where does it start in terms of the mindset shift? What do people have to understand, maybe as a takeaway for listeners of the show?
Yeah. As mentioned, the first one is like the clarification. What is Synera? So we approach this with several examples. The second one is the abstraction. How can we participate from this tool, from such kind of examples in our world? And the third one is then the adoption phase. As mentioned, it takes a little bit of time. They need to start with the first workflow. The first one is a checkup of return of invest. Okay, do I have a green light here? Do I earn more? Do I have my value back? And then we start directly in this horizon, and they discover like, okay, what else is possible with Synera if I do that and that. And so the adoption process mostly starts also with motivated engineers who see the chance to grow with Synera as well. Like, wow, this is what I need. I have plenty of ideas. Dear Mr. Manager, however, please give me some resources that I can start here. And this is how we take such kind of customers and partners in our hand, or we just guide and support them and went through this adoption phase with a kickoff meeting, with training, dedicated training, with specific examples, also handshakes to our other customers. That means it's not an island. Like, we connect you to our network, to our customers we already have, that you have also like best practice experiences, and also with our engineering network, like we have a direct support there if it needs to be fast. Like, you do not have the capacity, but you see like the urgency to create such kind of workflow. It's just 1 or 2 meetings, and after 2 or 3 weeks, you have this process in the first version there. And then maybe you have 1 or 2 or 3 versions behind. You have the running workflow already implemented in your tool. So this is in the adoption. And of course, it's like always a decision between like the user. I want to use it on a daily basis. I see my main task here in Synera to create, as a creator, processes which I could use, but also I can share with my colleagues as a consumer. So it's not only like that it's one person working with Synera. You can share all of those workflows with your colleagues. And the second one is then the manager view, who has, of course, like the financial, the return of invest, and also like the strategic view on this Synera type. And this mindset is also like already changing. The digitalization, the transformation is ongoing, and this is one big milestone for everyone to do this in the engineering sector as well. So the adoption phase is on the user base ongoing, of course, with support and with these examples and the possibilities. And on the second step, on the manager decision-making stage, it's like already starting, but still needs also like changes in the organization of big companies.
Definitely, yeah. How do you see maybe engineers working in the future, maybe the next 5 to 10 years? What is your prediction? Not only with Synera, but in general. Do you think like the job profile of engineers will also change in the coming years?
Yes and no, I would just say. So our vision and also like what you see science fiction is just like Jarvis from Iron Man, that you have like a communication, a different user interface, engineer interface to communicate with your tool set. The engineer still needs to be an engineer to answer this first. Like, you need to know your math, your homework, like you're getting from the material side, from the physics, from the mathematical. You need to know this at least before you create like awesome stuff digital. You can't bend virtually like an I-beam and don't know how big or how heavy, how rough it is in the end. Yeah? The smell of oil and metal, like people like engineers love this. And this is what I see and think needed for the hardware design. But I think also like the engineer type of engineer will change, because it's more like tools are there, experts are there. It's more like delegating. Like what we do with Synera is like to define the right input, output, the right spot, the right people, the right tool, the right time. So, and this is my experience also with different customers. Like this is maybe the new type of engineer, because also what we've learned with artificial intelligence, with simulation data management, there is already so much done in engineering, like with data sheets, with design principles, with simulation data, which is there. And now we're getting backwards, I would just say, in the different industries. Like we check what we have done in the past, not only because of the sustainability data traction we need to do, but also like, hey, okay, how do we do this? And why do we do this? And now with new tools and new, as mentioned, artificial intelligence, new topics, I guess we will work on another level. Big words like digital twin, the whole augmented reality and whatever, like this will shape the engineering. I don't know how it goes, but I guess like it will combine two roles. We have the standard engineer, if there is a standard engineer, with a metal oil like a hood, and the other one is like really how to bring this into the new wave of engineering. And this will be the fun part, and I guess Synera can be one of this section in this new engineering world.
Yeah. What do you think a solution, then we move towards the end of the podcast, what do you think a solution needs to fulfill? Because going back to the title, we talked about transforming instead of disrupting engineering workflows. What do you think a tool like Synera offers to make sure engineers are enhanced or enabled rather than disrupting existing workflows?
The first one I mentioned is like UI, the interface. Like how do we work together? Like we know this from different products, how a product can achieve greatness or can be more productive if the interface is easy to use. So this is the first one, where we also with our team like have a lot of homework done, and we have a lot of feedback sessions with our customer how this could be done and needs to be done. So this transformation is like from the interface to the really openness of engineers, like to test new things, to test also like rough and new ideas. We have depends also on the region, Germany to the US to other markets, like how open we are for new software tools. I know engineering, we all know in the engineering sector, stick to your guns, never change a running system, and so on. So this is tricky, I would just say, but necessary if we want to compete, compare, and we want to work sustainable, efficiently on our product development processes. We need to open up for different solutions, different mindsets, that it's not like the silo of designers, the silo of FE experts, the silo of material experts. People need to work together. In software, it's done already with sprints, with Scrum, with teams in different color working on one project, and the exchange of knowledge. People can grow, people can change. So, and I see the same, it's necessary in big companies, in the engineering companies. And Synera is one change accelerator, incubator for this type. So this is what I see. The transformation is ongoing. We see this. I hear this with different customers. It's not only engineering, also like the tools in the procurement and whatever IT. They're all under investigation. And here we are. Time for change.
Yeah. People would say, sounds great on paper, Markus. So how can we actually get started? So maybe a last question to you would be, Markus, how can we actually get started with Synera? And if I have an idea to maybe accelerate or save time, how can I do that? How can I achieve it?
What I would do like is really get in contact with our live demo team. The best one, what I've heard from our customers and from the past, is like the CEO live demos with our CEOs, like the direct link to our CEOs, founders, to get like an insight about the tool, but also like a vision, and you see like how ambitious and how great this mindset could be. Second step, like, well, second option is really like to test it directly. Like it's download it. We have the templates and start. It's not possible for everyone. This is then the third step. Like not everyone is able to download directly a software, install it. Then you need to contact us. We will find a solution. Even though in the last weeks we created like a kind of test workshop for our customer. He was not able to test it. They have been like 6-10 people who wanted to use Synera. So we asked one of our partners, okay, can we visit you as our customer? They prepared the laptops. They prepared like a short 3-4 hour lesson. and here we go. And they could directly start and test Synera. So plenty of examples. It's never, for us, one key goal is like lower the barriers. So every student has it for free. Every education institute gets it for free. So, and even you want to test it, we will find a solution that you are able to test Synera and get your feedback on your own.
That's a great summary, Markus. Thank you so much. And I think we learned a lot during this podcast. If people want to try it out, maybe even attend the sessions with the CEO, Daniel is giving these kind of lectures or sessions. I'll put it down in the YouTube description. But yeah, for more information, if you want to reach out to Markus, I'll also link your LinkedIn profile in the description if you don't mind, so people can just get in touch with you directly.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the invitation, for the organization, and talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.